Well, good afternoon. I undertook the task, shall we say, of taking the blinker switch mechanism, directional, pretty politically correct people, directional actuating, out of this 68 Rebel. Not easy. Definitely not easy. Made a couple of mistakes. I'll show you those mistakes. Definitely don't do that. Finally did it the right way. Just too lazy to walk all the way back to the shop and get the right tools. And if it was your car, you'd be pretty upset because I ended up breaking the collar on it. Fortunately, it's a parts car. I'm not too terribly worried about it. But, you know, it's one less part that's any good for somebody else that might need it. And who knows, I might need it in the future. So, and it's trash now. But my motto is, if it was junk when you started, and you break it, it's still junk. So anyway, we're good on that. But I was actually after the switch, which after all that effort, somebody had cut it and spliced it because they didn't want to go through everything I went through to get it out of there. So if you want to do that, you can cut it and splice it, and if you do it right, solder it, you'd probably be okay. But if you want to do it the right way, go ahead and watch this video. You'll see me do it the wrong way, which didn't work, by the way. And then I had to do it the right way, just to get it apart, and unfortunately I had some damage. But watch the video, learn by my mistakes, and it's not too bad if you do it the right way. But it's pretty intensive. You got to take a lot of stuff apart. So if you've never taken a switch out of one of these cars, and I imagine it's pretty much like others, some of them aren't so congested inside, but this thing was way over engineered. But go ahead and watch this video, learn by my mistakes, and fix that car. We're just going to take the horn off. We're going to strip it down as far as the blinker switch or the directional actuator. For those of you got to be politically correct. And there's 3 screws, which I can't see it, but it's there. Oh, that's just great. There we go. Helps if you can see it. Alright, so take that 3rd one off. Make sure you keep track of your screws, because you don't want to lose them, you know. Because somebody might want this horn ring, and you know they'll need screws. So now, usually I just drop them. But in this case, because the horn ring is almost kind of a little bit decent, not really, you know, I'm going to go ahead and try to save on these screws. Unless one just dropped on its own, in which case, well, the rest will follow. And there's always one that just doesn't want to come out. So let's get it up here where I can see it. There we go. Oh, it was me that was the problem. There we go. I know you'll find that, you know, that hole taking these 3 screws out incredibly exciting. So we'll make sure we show all of that content in here, because you know we wouldn't want you to miss those exciting moments in YouTube. And look at that. So now, this is always a good idea when you're doing a restoration of any kind, even though this is just a parts car, is if you can, take your, you know, it's one thing, a lot of people bag them and tag them, and that's great. But if you can put it back where it belongs, you know, just stick them right back in there, snug them up a little bit, and then at least if you can find this part, you'll know where the screws are. So that's something I always tend to do. And if you buy a part from me from here, I always tend to include the hardware too, unless of course it falls into the abyss while I'm taking it apart, in which case, yeah, it's just gone. But there we go. So there's my horn ring, and we'll look at that. It even works. Can you believe that? Got the screws in there, so if anybody ever needs one of these, I've got one, and the screws are in it. Can you believe that? So we'll put this in a safe place. Yeah, right there is fine for now. All right, now we just gotta go get a socket and zing this off of there. We're halfway home. Whoops, got our socket. Got our doodah here. If you don't have one of these little impact wrenches, well, you can still do this, but it's not as easy, I promise. Okay, so put that aside. Now we got to get our handy dandy steering wheel puller. Sometimes people say, let's see, it's just not enough room in here. Some people say you can rock them back and forth and pull on them, and yeah, well, maybe you can. I've never succeeded doing it that way, to be honest with you. But, you know, I guess it can happen. So, anyway, I'm thinking probably these. Wow, well, maybe, but these might be the wrong thread, because they only went in like 2 turns. So, let's try this one. Let's see if that one works. That one goes 2 turns as well. Let's try this one. I'm thinking it's one of those 2. I'm thinking it's the first one, to be honest with you. Oh, that's definitely not it. So, let's see. Does this one go in easier? I'm thinking they went about the same, to be honest. So, one of these 2. Uh-oh, that one fell. I'm going to go with this one. I'm just thinking. We'll try it. What I'm not going to do is run them in with an impact wrench, because that's a good way to ruin stuff. Alright. Oh yeah. She's going in nicey nice. So we'll turn her in a couple more turns. That's pretty good. We'll stick that on there. And we'll run this one in there too. Man. Well, that's not any good. Pardon me. It's just not. This is too big. Oh, somebody must have not did their homework when they made this tool. Well, I went out and spent $40 on a good kit that doesn't work, and I've got an $11 kit that I bought just because I figured, you know, I was going junkyard hopping. I want to bring a good kit along, especially since it doesn't work. So I bought this cheapo kit just for the, you know, just for junkyards. I guess technically, you know, that's what this is. So I bought the cheap kit. I'll take this back out, because the good kit that doesn't work, you know, it works a little differently. So let's put this back, and get the cheap one. Oh look, that'll work just fine. So let's go ahead and put that back in. Well, at least I can use the $40 bolts, you know. This one says, made in Taiwan. High quality stuff. but it works. So $11, 40 something dollars. $11, 40 something dollars. 40 something dollars. So good, doesn't work. $11 seems to work. Alright. So and it's kind of convenient because all the bolts are the same size. Look at that. Nope, I lied. It's not. I got a little button here that I can't get out. Come on. Yes. Yeah. Everything's falling out. It's an $11 kit, so don't expect too much. Put the button on there. Put her up against. Dial it out. You know, all this for like a minute to get it off of here. So we need a different socket. There we go. And just start tightening her down. Oh, holy moly, look at that. She just come flying out at me. This is where you want to be careful because that spring just like threw this at me, so we don't want stuff going everywhere. So let's go ahead and we'll take my little bracket apart. Oh, what is that? I'll save that just in case. Oh, there's two. A couple of little screwages here that I think they came out of the wheel. But anyway, we're going to tackle this next. Well, now that I've got the steering wheel off, it's just going to take this stuff off here. This is for the horn ring. This is a little doodah that rides on the back of the wheel. So we want to make sure we keep all that nicey nice. Alright. And then pull this out of here. And then this one, this is nice. This one's nice and easy. Doesn't have that little plate you got to push down in there for the locking. Like on the more modern ones, you got that locking plate. That one's always kind of a pain. Somebody's already taken the liberty to pull this little flasher doodah out of here for me. So that's easy to go. So all we need to do now, we need to get a screwdriver, take these screws out of here, unplug it from the bottom, and slide her on out. First we got to take this lovely handle out of here. It's all Phillips head screws. They're different size Phillips head screws, however. Pull this out of here. Like I've said 1,000 times before, I always put the screws back. And the reason I do that is because if you put them in a bag and bag them, you might say directional switch or whatever, but you know, you'll never find it. Or you'll go crazy trying to find it. You'll buy one and then you'll find it. So, now this, let's see, regular tip fits okay, but uh-oh, you got some pieces going on here. I don't know if that's a good thing. But it's probably better to swap the tip out or get a different screwdriver. I've just happened to got one of those magical screwdrivers that converts to everything. And just take these screws out. They got like really huge screws holding this in here. I guess AMC just wanted to make sure that, you know, directionals didn't fall out. I'm thinking those two little doodahs that fell out are contacts of some sort. Well, get this out of here and take a look, see at that. That's a screw right there, buddy. Let me tell you what, that is a screw. Alright. It's just all sorts of stuff. It's got a cool little blue light in here that illuminates this piece. I kind of like that. That must have looked cool in its day. I'm really a big AMC fan. I really am. I really like these cars. Now, they were kind of redheaded stepchild in the day. I actually had a friend back when I was younger that had one of these Rebels, and we made fun of him. We really did. It was a convertible too, but we made fun of him because it was an oddball car. Now I look back and, you know, I wish I had one. I wish I had, you know, this one was in better shape. Instead of stealing parts off it, we'd be restoring it. But she's just too rough, poor thing. You know, she's got decent floors, and just the roof. The roof is the problem, and the glass. The cost of a new roof, or fabbing a new roof. Try that in English. Fabbing a new roof, or finding one to replace it with. Then all the glass, and then all the interior. This car would be an extremely expensive endeavor. So unfortunately for her, we are not going to be restoring her. All this just this one sitting here, but it's out. This has got to go. Take this screw out of here, and you got to push it in. Get it out of the way. Let's see if we can't get this baby to come out of here. Go ahead and unhook the plug down here. She's got two little clippy thingies, which I'm so good about breaking. There we go, there's one. Definitely not the proper tool for the job. Oh, there we go. And that came right out. This isn't moving at all, so we're going to probably have to take some of this off of here on the bottom. Definitely not the right way to do things, especially on something that's old like this. I want to at least try to save on this piece. What I'm actually after is this. But, I'll go ahead and pull this off of here because we don't want to break this in the process. There we go. So we save on that. Okay. Gives us a little more prying room too. This definitely doesn't want to come out easy. I may have to get a 3-arm puller no matter what, even after doing all that damage. She just don't want to come out. Really, all I need is this piece right here, but she's not going to come out. Not going to come out without taking getting this bearing out of here. She's a coming, but there's stuff broken back in here. The springs and all sorts of good stuff. So hit me in the teeth. And why I'm being so stubborn and not wanting to get a 3-arm puller is beyond me. I guess because I just don't want to. But I don't see it coming out any other way. So I guess we're going to be forced to do it the right way. And let's go get a small puller. Okay. After much making up new words, a 3-arm puller in there, no easy task, but go ahead and got her pulled out. Oop, gonna have to take this nut back off, and I'm gonna say that bearing is probably not much good, but we're not after the bearing. So, and there we go. Now we've got this, and unfortunately, in my impatience, I kind of mangled this. But it is what it is. Now, trying to get this out, that's going to be... Gotta get this collar out of here. There's a little pin here that I didn't know about. I'm guessing we could have pushed that plate back and pulled that pin out. She probably would have slid right out. Oh no, I think it was over that. I don't know. Nonetheless, we're still not free. We still don't have... We've still got to get this piece out of here, which is going to be a fun one. Can't see a thing with glasses because the sun's in my eyes. Just puts a glare. Not sure what's holding this piece in. Not seeing anything. Probably some of you shouting at the screen going, "Hey, just do this." I think I'm going to have to pull this pin. So let me get a pair of pliers. Wait a minute. Oh! Well, she's coming. Look at that. Alright, got the handle out. This is this little pin. You can usually drive them out. This one just happened to be loose enough to do that with. Now I just got to try to figure out how to get this piece. I'm thinking she just fits in there somehow. like to think I could snake this by, but I'm not thinking I can. We'll try it. It almost looks like somebody has cut these wires at some time to do this once before, because there's some connections in here. So rather than doing it the right way, which is kind of sort of the way we're doing it, I'm not seeing how to get this thing out of here. We're going to try to unmangle this a little bit so I can get rid of it. Whoop, I don't know. Well, remember my motto, if it was junk when you started, and it breaks, it's still junk. This piece is loose in here. So my guess is you gotta turn it until it lines up with these little pins here. Then it should come right out. The problem's gonna be getting it to come forward. Oh, wait a minute. Let's use our brains. These little screws go into this. These are the screws that we took out to get this piece out. So we'll put these screws back in. That'll give us something to hang on to. Here we go. Look at that. Genius. We're genius. Alright, now there's a spring here. Whatever's holding this on must be behind this spring. Which I can't get out. Something's holding it in. Oh, looks like this just turns and pulls straight out. There we go. Wow. That was so not fun. So we just gotta, now we just snake her through, which I'm not even sure if this is any good, because like I said, somebody been here before me. And that's pretty much all of it, folks. Finally got her out. Take this 3-arm puller out of here if I can get it out. Now the trick to 3-arm puller is I had to actually disassemble the puller and turn these to get them in there. They didn't want to come out. I mean, they didn't want to go in, excuse me. And then we got this little wonderful, this thing, which, anybody know what that is? Throw it in the comments. Say, that's a bearing retainer, maybe? So, out of that whole thing, we've salvaged the switch and this collar, which goes to this thing, which I think is cool, because it had that little blue light that kind of illuminated. So, we've not accomplished a whole lot. I've showed you the right and the wrong way to do this. Definitely, if I were you, do not pry against your column like I did. Just go ahead and get your 3-arm puller right away. Squirrel her in there somehow. And, well, if I look like I'm in a weird position, you'd be right. The whole point is the sun is big time in my eyes, so I gotta kind of pull myself up, get the sun out of my eyes. Sitting in this chair, and whoa, as you can tell, it's not exactly bolted in either. And I've been wrestling with this thing for the last however long it took us to do this video. But I hope you all enjoyed watching this. Watch me screw things up. Hey, you know, that's part of it. Sometimes if you don't know what you're doing in certain areas. Never had one of these columns apart. I've had other cars apart, or even built a few, but not an AMC. And this one, she's way over engineered. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed the video. Do me a favor and subscribe. I could use some subscribers. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.